We are starting out talking about the Trump administration, and now tonight they're trying to clarify who will and who won't be impacted by their new directive that they are freezing some federal aid and some federal grant money.
Yeah, a lot of questions here. Plus, President Trump's immigration crackdown is ramping up tonight.
Erica Brown has the latest from the White House.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt held her first briefing Tuesday, tackling a barrage of questions about President Trump's federal aid freeze.
This is not a blanket pause on federal assistance and grant programs from the Trump administration. If you are receiving individual assistance from the federal government, you will still continue to receive that.
In a memo sent last night, the Office of Management and Budget ordered all federal agencies to assess their programs and activities to ensure they comply with President Trump's recent executive orders directing assistance be temporarily frozen.
Every one of our offices has been deluged with calls from people who are in panic. What is this going to mean?
The freeze memo specifically mentions financial assistance for foreign aid, quote, woke gender ideology, and the Green New Deal. Democrats say Trump does not have the authority to freeze funds Congress approved.
This illegal move is a massive overreach by the Trump administration.
Many Republican lawmakers are defending the president's move.
A lot of these grants were predicated on divisive, discriminatory, and illegal DEI. So we'll find out more, but I think it's appropriate to take a look at it.
The Trump administration stressed that the freeze will not impact assistance provided directly to individuals, including Social Security, Medicare, food stamps, and welfare benefits. The memo comes as President Trump's immigration crackdown hits cities across the country. Newly confirmed Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is overseeing ICE raids in New York. She posted video on X of an arrest. The agency says it made more than 1,000 arrests Monday. And 2 planes carrying deported migrants arrived in Bogota Tuesday, days after President Trump threatened to impose tariffs if Colombia did not accept the flights. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
Erica, thank you. And we also know the 53-year-old former Wisconsin congressman and reality TV star has promised safer Boeing planes. Plus, he also wants to create federal rules for self-driving cars.
All right, sticking with these new rules from the White House, about 15 minutes ago, or actually about 2 minutes ago officially, the White House announced that these plans went into effect to freeze some of this grant money and federal loans. Now, they say they did this because they wanted to make sure that the funding complies with Trump's executive orders, which changes things for several health issues, including transgender care rights, environmental issues, and DEI efforts. Now, they say, the White House says these grants are paused for things like foreign aid, non-governmental organizations, and what they called woke ideology. Now, today, the South Carolina Department of Public Health told News 19 that it is reviewing the presidential orders and memos to determine if any potential impacts from them affect our agency in any way. They say we are looking at all the federal grants and funding during this evaluation, and we will continue to expand our review as new federal guidance is enacted. Now, in the meantime, they say DPS employees remain focused on the agency's mission, which is to promote health and well-being for every South Carolinian. Now, in this memorandum, it says that the administration will use this time again to review these programs and see what fits with the president's priorities. Now, let's go to some other responses. Now, access to the website for Medicaid payments, we were told, was down in some parts of the country today. So we reached out to the South Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. They replied to News 19 today in part, saying we are actively reviewing the executive orders, memos, and other guidance issued by the administration and evaluating it for the impact on South Carolina's Healthy Connections Medicaid program. Our understanding from the Office of Management and Budget Guidance is that the Medicaid program will continue without pause. It is our understanding that access to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services payment portal is currently delayed, but they are awaiting guidance. However, no South Carolina Medicaid services will be impacted. Now, just an update on this. About 20 minutes ago, we found out South Carolinians' access to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services payment portal is back up once again. Meanwhile, the administration also said that federal assistance like Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, scholarships, those will not be affected by this freeze. USC, though, of course, has federal funds, federal grants for research. Here's what they had to say today. They said USC will continue to monitor the situation and will keep our research facility and staff informed as we receive new guidance from our federal partners.
Meanwhile, Democrats are asking how the money can be paused when it's approved government funding. So earlier today, U.S. Congressman James Clyburn sharing a statement, writing in part, and I'm quoting here, take a look, Trump paused all federal grants and loans. Let's be clear about what this does. Funding that helps kids go to college, helps families heat their homes, keeps healthcare centers open, houses the vulnerable, and that feeds children has come to a halt. This is illegal. Meanwhile, just a few hours ago, the White House press secretary said, quote, Social Security benefits, Medicare benefits, food stamps, welfare benefits, and assistance that's going directly to individuals will not be impacted by this pause. Now, back here at home, News 19 is also working hard to learn how this funding could impact certain programs in schools really across the Midlands. We went ahead and reached out to Fairfield County school districts asking if the free or reduced school lunch program is now in jeopardy. In a statement, Superintendent Dr. Tony Hemingway replied, quote, currently we do not anticipate an immediate impact on our free and reduced lunch program, which is funded through the U.S. Department of Agriculture and operates on pre-allocated federal funding.